You ready? Alright, so hey guys, I'm Ryan with Manus Defense, and today I'm here to actually talk about the Elevated Tech Slide. This sweet new optic mount has been out for a little bit. It's been out for probably, I don't know, 5-6 months maybe, but I finally got my hands on one. The optic mount is actually set to run either aim-point micros or MROs. Comes in about $150. I think it's $149. You can get it through their website or other websites such as Rainier Arms, I believe. The base itself is two parts. The bottom, the base, is meant to mount a Picatinny. The top piece is almost like a Weaver style design, or like a smooth Picatinny, so it clamps in on the sides and allows you to slide it up and down the plane that they have set. What's very cool about it is it's nice and low profile. Right now there are no latches on it. I did talk to him at SHOT, and he had mentioned that, you know, people are looking for the QD and he might do it. I personally don't think it needs the QD as much as, sure, I guess it would make sense based on the design or the concept behind this, or maybe even the concept that I think it would have. So the base itself is keyed for the MRO, not for the aim-point micro. One of the real flaws I saw at first, based on that shear strength, that factor right there is calculated, and that's why the bases are made to actually be keyed directly to the optic. That way it increases the strength from the impacts that it would hit from the front and the sides and the back as well. Obviously we all know that on a rifle the weakest point is the top, because this is where the optic is sticking out by itself. So the fact is that when I was screwing it on, I felt that I was giving it too much torque, and I was afraid that I was actually going to break it, when realistically I actually should have been cranking it on harder. You can set this optic either at a very tall height or at a very low height. As long as you're cranking it on, you have enough contact, you really don't have to worry about it. I noticed from scrolling through on Instagram though and other social media that a couple other users seem to be missing the screw in the back right. So it makes me wonder if the cut is just a little bit too tight, because I noticed that I had a very hard time getting the screws in through the holes on the top piece of the optic mount to actually get into the body. I went ahead and I ordered a couple extra screws. The box itself that I got, it had the mount and it had the stickers and all that kind of stuff in it. But for the screws, you're supposed to use factory screws. I noticed that the aim-point factory screws were very short, obviously, from their mounts. So it makes me wonder if you're getting enough thread engagement in the actual optic through the base. I know that sometimes you have to worry about them being too long, and then it would puncture the actual optic, you know, for the guys that are cranking and torquing it in there. So one of the biggest things, obviously, is that I think screws should be coming with the optic that are meant to be matched to this directly. I realistically would have liked to have seen the base keyed to fit the aim-point micro, considering the MRO has a smaller base plate area. Even though the MRO is a more popular optic, it would seem at this time, based on its price point. I think that if it was wider, it would have been a little bit more supportive of both of those platforms. The coolest thing though is the fact that the base is cut for, it has the 8 holes in it, so you can just take either optic, mount it right onto it, and screw it in. I did crank it on. I did a couple tests where I hit it from the front with a PMag, loaded PMag, and I was trying to impact it on the front. Wasn't trying to bash it up too crazy, but I wanted to see, you know, if it could take the impact. I did notice that it moved, and so because of that, I lost my 0. Well, I then retried it, I cranked it on a lot tighter, and when I went to hit it, it actually didn't move. So at that point, I would say, yes, just make sure that you are cranking these on tighter. It's kind of deceiving on how much that you think that you're actually applying pressure with, and really, you need to keep going. The optic itself, I was hoping to kind of see that this would be able to go low enough to be able to, you know, lower 1/3 or absolute co-witness with firearms such as the MP5s, the Scorpions, and the like. That's the overall goal, was to make this optic mount so you could pretty much pair it with any set of iron sights on the market, especially for AR-15 platforms, your Brens, your Tavors, whatever it may be. But I was seeing that this could have a lot more use outside of the AR platform, or carbine platform, and it could be used on some of these smaller PCC styled guns, or classics, I guess you could say. I noticed I couldn't get it low enough for the absolute co-witness or the lower 1/3. I think if the top part of the base itself was actually made a little bit smaller, it could probably get low enough where you could actually get that co-witness that you're looking for. I definitely like the fact that you can raise it forward and up, or that you can raise it down. Obviously that'll change your height over bore, which is it can make a decent difference, especially at a closer range, because then your height over bore, where they're intersecting again over distance, would be slightly different. So that's kind of cool to think about as well. The optic mount comes in at $150. I really like the company. I think they've got a lot going for them here. I think they're onto a really great concept. There's a couple things I would like to fine tune. I'm going to try to take it back out and shoot it again. I shot it at 25, 50, and 100. I'd like to shoot it at 200, and I'd really like to shoot it at 50 again, knocking it in and out of 0 to kind of see where we're at and see how it really holds up. If you guys would like to learn more, you can check out elevatedtech.com. Their website has a little bit more information than I can kind of really throw at you about it. I think they're on something though, and I think it's really cool. So, thank you guys for watching this short video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything like that, feel free to leave it down below for us. Let us know what your thoughts are on the elevated optic mount. So, again, I'm Ryan. This is the Slide. Stay safe. Shoot straight.